travelers of the beyond, and welcome to Blood from a Stone, a tale of love and dread in RPG, now in its second year of being a thing. Also, I suppose this is like, what would it be, like 1 day past or 1 day short our 1 year anniversary of the game, right? Because this is now the 53rd week. So this it was 1 year ago that we would have done it. Yeah. Anyway, hi, my name's Philip. I'm the Dread Master. And we've got some wonderful players. Say hello. Players.
Hello.
God damn.
Players.
I did it just too long.
Hello, beautiful people.
Really made some mistakes.
Still got it though.
I'm here to one reason we just logged on at this time. We will be having some more players tonight, and some will maybe be getting started without everyone here, but we'll eventually have a few more folks on. I will mention though, like pretty strongly, if you're like so many people a fan of that if you're just now rediscovering or discovering for the first time Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill, I'd like to strongly recommend you just get the whole album, Hounds of Love, which is really good. There's some really good songs on there. Cloud bursting. See, if I say that, I don't know.
I read about it today, and she wanted Running Up a Hill to be called Deal with God, and the record label was like, no, change it to Running Up a Hill. And then they were like, we don't want that as the single. We want Cloud Busting. It is Cloud Busting.
I said it right.
I have a question about Kate Bush, because I've never knowingly listened to Kate Bush's music.
Oh my god. Okay, go ahead.
Is she like, she's like kind of like an icon for like lesbians, right? Like a lesbian music icon.
I don't
is that a
know.
thing?
I don't think that is
because,
not.
Like someone said that, but then they're also talking about how she's like straight as hell, right? Because she's like very straight. She's a mom with kids now.
I mean, not everyone who's married with kids is like totally straight.
No, but like she's like living a very like normal, not like, I don't know. This is just something I heard, and I'm like trying to confirm this live on stream where I could potentially embarrass myself and put my foot in my mouth.
I could see how she could be an icon.
I don't see anything though specifically about her even being a lesbian icon. It seems like she's a gay icon.
Not like she is.
No, it's like she's considered like on the level of Cher or Madonna to be a gay icon. It doesn't say anything about a lesbian icon. To me, I just know her as being kind of like a certain kind of like British art rock nonsense that is just like is the best of it there can be, if that makes sense. Just like not quite hippie. I don't know. So, okay, her song, this is really what everyone's here for tonight. Her song, Wuthering Heights. Has anyone here ever heard Wuthering Heights by Kate Bush?
Of course.
Oh,
like Far from the Madding Crowd?
I've not heard it.
It's one of the most insane, like I strongly recommend that song, and my dream would have been to, and maybe I can still do this at some point. She does this absurd dance in it where she's kind of like dancing in the music video. She's kind of dancing the words that she's singing, and what she's singing is the plot of Wuthering Heights. It's me. I'm so cold. Let me into your window. Oh. But I really would love to get like a bunch of second graders. I would love to see second graders doing that dance as like a group, where it's like, I'm so cold. Let me into your window. Oh man.
You should
One of the domains needs to be all Kate Bush music. Oh snap! That's it. Merkshire would have already done it. Oh, Merkshire, but Kate Bush music? That would have been great. Maybe I'll start trying to get some Kate Bush music.
There's other domains.
I know,
yeah,
but they're all spoken for. I don't... Would she fit? I don't know.
I feel like I don't know if I can say that.
Go ahead.
No, because I don't know if that's... I feel like a certain individual who may have crossed lines of dread might be interested in Kate Bush's music.
Are you talking about the fleecing schemester?
Yes, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the fleecing schemester. The fleecing schemester just knows good music. Is what he knows. Is what he knows.
Is there a domain of the fleecing schemester would certainly have listened to Kate Bush.
Oh my God, the fleecing schemester loves Kate Bush. He loves Hounds of Love. He loves Babushka. Anyway.
How do you feel about like disco music?
Is anyone still watching us? Have we lost everyone?
I don't know. I think we successfully ran everyone off.
All right. Well,
No, I think people are hanging out.
oh my God.
They
I have people
left
on TikTok watching. Hi, y'all.
the domain of bread.
Domain of bread. Oh man, I'm hungry for
need
a
that.
domain of bread.
What about a domain of dread where it's just the fast, or tread where it's just the Fast and Furious because they have sick treads on their vehicles?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can believe it. I can believe it entirely.
There's also the domain of spread where it's just bagels.
Oh God! Thank God you said bagels. Thank God you said bagels. Oh.
We already had the domain of spread and heistilies.
Hey now. Hey now.
Hey.
Are we not live yet?
We're live.
Oh, we're
Yes,
live.
hi.
Oh, we're live. Hello.
Live, yeah.
The domain of which sure doesn't sound like it. Domain
We have
of
a
lead.
domain of banished to the horny jail because I feel like that's where many of us
I
should.
mean, probably you should all be there. I think these are all rhymes with dread, and your
Well, there's all that, and then there's the domain of horny jail.
domain of dread, domain of bread, domain of spread, domain of horny jail. Well, on that note, yeah, Liv, you just missed I was telling everyone my favorite Kate Bush songs, and just really talking about how I really want to choreograph a bunch of second graders doing the Wuthering Heights music video. Oh, it's cold. Let me in your window. Oh my God.
I did say, listen, everyone I know who's watching Stranger Things is coming to me as soon as they hit episode 4 and going, "Oh my God, you were right," and I'm like, "I fucking told you." I'm always right when it comes to television. Always. My
Burn.
opinion-
I would want to just push back on that because I'm a contrarian, but based on a lot of the shows I've talked to you about, I think that's probably the case. Yeah, you're the only person who I've encountered who watched and understood the woman across the street from the girl in the window. Wait, did I say it right?
Oh, brilliant. That fucking show was so brilliant.
They really,
sorry.
sure really got something. Anyway, hi everyone, welcome to our Blood from a Stone game. This has been an uncharacteristically just hangout type opening, but we're gonna get into some horrific stuff. Don't you worry.
I was late.
It really was not.
Bread.
Not the reason. So, let's kind of talk about what the hell happened last time in our landmark 50-second session. And what happened was basically this. Our group consisting of Elutella, Rawlings, and Alekie, who had survived a robot attack, or sort of a sudden robot attack on Rocket Base 95, met up with the Dahlia bot aboard the Velderal vessel. They managed to escape Razor Ants, all sorts of problems, crash land on an, to them, unidentified planet. I think actually Pascal knows the name of it. They found an abandoned facility inside of which was an android, although he seemed to be a human at first, but eventually kind of gave away that he was an android.
Outed.
Largely because, literally, without knowing anything that's going on, the first thing Elutella said is, "You're not a robot, are you?" Which was just one of those delightful, happy accidents for narrative tension and delightfulness. The group, being crashed on this planet with a computer core from their previous vessel that had ventured both to Paradise and Hysteles on multiple occasions, decided to sort of make their way to an area where sensors weren't really picking up anything useful. They thought this might be related to something called the Shroud, which was a message scrawled on the ruined facility's wall, behind which Pascal was locked. Upon entering, they encountered individuals wearing sort of black shrouds over their heads, who didn't seem threatening at first until they realized Pascal was some sort of a robot as he began making a transmission. When Dahlia showed up, things got even more intense. There was a horror surge with some little larvae type creatures. But eventually, the group were approached by a very handsome gentleman whom none of them here had met before. He kind of pulled off his own shroud, matinee idol good looks. He came up, he spoke to them. Dahlia convinced him that she was important, which, let's be realistic, is not a hard thing to do. And he realized who she was. And then he began to speak to her about one named Oksana. And though Dahlia was, up until this point, sort of trying to remain in control of what was going on, she instead suddenly became desperate to learn about and help Oksana if it was possible to do so. She has agreed to try to contact her, to try to save her, hoping that maybe she can reach Oksana, because, as this drifter has explained to her, this is a very, very dangerous time for vampires. Who's Oksana? Well, watch sessions 13 through 23 to find out. She was a Russian exchange student in Paradise and a bodybuilder, and eventually a vampire. That was her vibe.
And a great friend, Sensei Mike.
And that is true. She was a friend to a lot of people. It was a shame. Things that didn't. But you know, sometimes you get bit by a vampire, and it's how it goes. So that is our current status. I want to point out, just with all the joy in my heart that I could muster, the dread clock stands at 12. That is 12 to 13. 1 hour from...
I forgot we were that close on the dread clock.
Oh.
Now I'm confused.
Oh, you're welcome.
By just blowing over.
This is
I think a bunch of those were mine.
And actually, no, you know what? There's a certain degree of momentousness here. We are at 12 on our 12th 13.
This is the 12th one?
We will.
Oh,
this
right, 'cause
will,
we had so many a couple weeks ago.
This will complete our 12th 13 tonight.
I like that you're keeping track of literally everything that could amount to 13.
Mm-hmm.
So you can torture us.
Of course it is.
I mean, you know what they
don't
say
what you
about
guys are
torture?
talking about.
One man's torture is another man's fun time is rolling dice.
That's really true. So with
Who
all
says
of
that, Dan? Who
I
says
do.
that? Okay.
With all of that in mind, let me read tonight's. I'm having some interesting fun with these, and I'm kind of I'm looking at a lot of different types of stuff for the invocations here, as many things would have influenced what is influencing this place. So here's one that I actually like. It is particularly relevant, but perhaps in a different way than you're all thinking. Tonight's invocation. Now, any dogma, based primarily on faith and emotionalism, is a dangerous weapon to use on others, since it is almost impossible to guarantee that the weapon will never be turned on the user. Dahlia.
Amen, brother. Amen.
You and the others are escorted.
I know that invocation.
You know that? You don't know that?
I know it. I can't figure out how I know it, but I. All right. Continue.
All right. Dahlia, you and the others are sort of led by this handsome gentleman. Deeper into this compound, he sort of waves down several other people, all of whom are wielding like axes and polearms and have bows and arrows. And he's kind of just gesturing to Dahlia and Pascal, indicating, friends, it's all right. They're not exactly what they look like. At least she's not. He kind of... Pascal, this handsome guy, he sort of turns back to you. You know, he'd like been holding you pretty aggressively. He also punched some of your sort of, you know, receivers out in your mouth, but he kind of gives you a look and sort of says, friend, you might feel some urges at times in this place, all right? I just want to tell you, try to... He gets real close to you. If you feel any new programming coming on, you do well to resist it. Take my meaning.
Mm-hmm. What does his breath smell like?
This guy's breath.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly hard, like potato-based alcohol, actually.
Okay, perfect.
Had
Just
that
wondering.
I had that a few sessions back, in fact. And then in general, he just kind of has he's definitely wearing some kind of cologne. He smells very good. But he sort of gestures you all over. He kind of looks at Elutella and Alekia and Rawlings and kind of smiles. He leads you all towards one of those buildings that you saw in the distance. You walk in. There are several sort of shrouded figures. One of them is actually very small in stature, and Elutella, Alekia, and Pascal would actually recognize, just based on sort of the build, even though the face is covered, as well as you can see there's a few feathers sort of like on the back of the hand, that this is probably a Jikihurk, which is a sort of a diminutive species who you guys are somewhat familiar with. And this sort of shrouded one is kind of pacing and sort of turns back and kind of looks at you all and says, why are you... Who are these individuals, and why are you not wearing your shroud? And the handsome guy says, we don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Miss Moth, what's going on?
I was just wondering why we should be wearing a shroud, or should you be wearing a shroud?
He has a shroud in his hand. He kind of, you know, tucks it into one of his pockets. I wear a shroud because it's a way to signal, well, this important religion that everyone here practices, this important faith, this important belief that we all share. But he kind of turns to this sort of Jikihurk and says, but at this time, Beb, we don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna have a little chat with them. And Beb sort of says, I thought that I was the chosen by the Shroud to live in the shadows. He says, you are, Beb, but right now there's a conversation I'd be worried about you getting the wrong idea about. Remember, I taught you everything you know, right? And this sort of diminutive Jikihurk, whom, again, Elutella, Alekia, and Pascal know that many members of this species are, despite their small size, like, incredibly lethal and skilled at various, various kind of techniques and martial abilities, assassinations and such. So he kind of, sort of asks this individual to leave you all in this room. This individual says, very well. I hope you all, gesturing to Elutella, Alekia, and Rawlings. Pascal, you now have probably some white blood to somewhere on you, sort of demonstrating that you're likely an android. But this individual says, I hope that you will all join us in standing up against the thing that watches and knows. I'm sure they will. All right, Beb. Thanks a lot. Beb kind of stands there for a moment, and then Beb, you see, sort of reaches up, and over Beb's glove, they're wearing like a ring. And Beb kind of like moves their hands a few times and touches the ring and turns invisible.
Oh.
And begins laughing at sort of I'll actually roll for Beb to see if Beb could be frightening.
Do we know what the thing that knows and watches is?
You have not heard that term yet.
Okay.
Also, have I seen technology that can make something disappear before?
I'd like you to make a general tech roll, or you could do an analyze if that's better for you.
Analyze. Oh, and I got a 6 on the dread die.
Great.
May I attempt to covertly scan to see where this person is?
Ooh.
26, but I rolled a 1. I used the dread die to roll again. Does that count?
No, if you roll a 1 on a subsequent roll, it doesn't count.
Okay, so 26.
With a 26, I'm going to get to you in a second. Pascal, why don't you roll your own covert sensor? For you, this would just be a sense roll from under your dreadful.
Let me sense roll. Perfect. Okay. Okay. That is a 13.
Oh no!
And so it goes. All right. So if you have your D13 handy,
I do have my D13.
Please roll
Oh,
that.
great! Yeah.
And this is actually really cool because so first of all, roll. You're gonna get to roll it 2 times. Hit me 2 times. Roll that. Go ahead.
All right. 8.
Okay, cool. So there is no horror surge. Would you please roll it again?
4.
4.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Why? What's 4? Do we know? Does anyone remember?
I don't
Something
remember.
good for him, bad for us.
Isn't that the
Actually,
one
maybe
where the
keeping
leeches
track
came
of
from?
these.
4. No, 4 is
That's one of the things that.
the larva. Those were just that was on the horror surge. That's just what came out of here. Okay, I gotta think about how to do this to maximum interest. Rollins?
This is the one where like the things came from the snow and like the little like horror thing like got into a Conrad, right?
No, that's 7.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
4 is well. We'll see. We'll see 4 in just a moment. But sort of Pascal with a 13, you look around, and your sensors, your optical sensors, no longer detect this individual, and basic whatever limited infrared or thermals you're sort of given also don't see them anywhere. It's just blending in. Elutella with your 26.
Yes.
The way that Beb disappeared is unlike any cloaking device you've ever seen. You kind of have no idea what's going on. That was quite bizarre. But Beb sort of laughs kind of wickedly, moves out of the room. This gentleman who's with you kind of seems satisfied and closes the door behind Beb. But upon doing so, you all hear a sound of thunder, and his eyes get very sharp.
Oh, what?
Do I recognize
was
what's happening?
that?
Rawlings, you definitely recognize what's happening.
I'll just the focus is here. The focus is here.
That's right, the dial is turned here. You're
What?
catching on
What?
pretty quick. He kind of moves over to like another door in the room, but you can tell that there's a little bit of a purple mist at the bottom of that door. And he sort of pauses. Well, as there's no point delaying it, he whips the door open.
Oh,
Why? Why would you do that?
what
And
is happening?
he sort of looks in and kind of takes a big whiff and goes, relax. It's friendly. And he says, "Hey, Bub, how's it going, pals? Don't try to push in right now. I got something cooking, if you catch my drift." You hear a jazzy sort of music playing in the distance. And he sort of says, "That being said, how are things going there? So anything rotten in the state of Hystales?" And kind of like, sort of moving towards the door. Are you guys looking? Or are you guys hiding? What is everyone doing right now?
Oh, I am looking. I'm trying to take in
Rawlings,
everything I can.
you walk over. Now, Rawlings, you've been to this domain. But you notice that sort of like leaning down, sort of at the edge of this door, is this massive kind of pale green-skinned troll-like creature, wearing a very nice suit. It's just like looking into the doorway. What the hell's going on here? And he says, relax, friend, relax. Look, between you and me, I was rooting for you in the last election. What election are you talking about? Friend, Judge Blunder, I'm still trying to get things to go your way. Things have been going bad. Who the hell are you? What the hell? And he begins to like push his way into the room. The Drifter says, stop and think. Let's be smart about this. He's gonna make a little persuade roll. Ooh, he doesn't roll good. This thing is pushing its way in further. This is this like monstrous creature, an alien unlike anything any of you have ever seen. Rawlings, you probably would have seen a picture of Judge Blunder somewhere. Dahlia looks just like yet another monster. What is everyone doing as this 12-foot tall thing is trying to like push his way in through this door, like reaching, and the Drifter's like, come on, buddy, come on.
I will flutter my way behind Elekier and grasp onto him and peer from behind him.
I shall also retreat behind Elekier.
I'm going to get as close to the door as I possibly can. The exit door.
The door out of here. Understood.
Yeah. Yes.
Elekier says, proceed no further, and pulls up his gamma staff.
Can I just start powering up my laser eyes?
This thing just looks and says, what the hell is this place? Hey, come here. And he kind of starts climbing through a little further. And the Drifter kind of steps back a bit and says, tried to warn him, and he kind of gives you a look at Lequier and a nod to you as well, Dahlia, and says, take him.
I attack.
All right, if you would both make attack rolls on Judge Blunder as he's coming through.
Oh, us?
Yes, you, Dahlia Bot, you can make your laser eyes. Elekier, you can make a blast with your gamma staff if you would both like to. I'm going to say that actually the Judge literally cannot dodge because he's filling...
We haven't found any additional power cubes yet, have we?
You know what? You guys came in here, everybody found 4 power cubes. Sure, that's fine. Good
Nice.
point. You would have. You're supposed to find them pretty early, so yeah.
Thank you.
What do I do with the ones from last session?
You keep them. They increase and increase and increase. You can use
They
them,
accumulate.
but they're also how you like increase skills and stats.
That's why I'm not dead.
So sometimes you want to use them all.
Hey,
to
we
destroy.
exploded.
Yeah.
16 to hit.
A 16 will hit. I'll be honest, unless you guys rolled under a 5, you definitely hit. So now go ahead and roll your damage.
23.
You
24.
Without any trouble, you're just blasting. But now please roll your damage rolls. And the Judge will roll a resist injury, which he's a big guy. I'm going to go ahead and give him 6 on it. Because he'd have 4. His con would be his physical.
Oh, there's my damage. I was like, where's my damage? Okay, and this is not the weird exploding.
You
or
do not include
It's just
a
4
dread
normal
die.
die.
Correct.
Oh, for the damage, you don't include a dread die?
You don't include a dread. There is no dread die on damage. Yeah, damage is just going to be the flat.
Good, because I rolled a 1 on it, so I get to keep that.
You do get to keep that in this case.
Oh yes.
4, 12 plus 4. 16 points of damage.
16 points. Very good.
And 17 for me.
17. You both blast this massive creature, this sort of monstrous, well-dressed figure who kind of like rages at the impact. Doesn't seem to be that injured by your weapons. He seems to be very hardy and sturdy, but now he's angry, and he's like beginning to like pull his way through, and now basically like the top half of him has like crawled through, and he's sort of swinging his limbs. I'll say you're all, since you guys bring ranged things, you can all sort of instinctively back away out of the range, but he'll be in the room pretty soon. Elitella?
I have a question. Is the door a like swinging door or a door that like can be automatically closed or anything? Like
these are like swinging, like almost like submarine doors. They're swinging with like, you know, heavy.
Oh, okay. They're not automated in
These
any
are
way?
not automated, no. In fact, minor little, since you've come into this strange, anomalous area, you really haven't seen any technology.
Oh dear.
So yes, as he's now basically trying to push his way into the room, saying, "What the hell is this?" And the drifter's just going, "Oh God, I hate these storms. It's too much weather." What are you all doing now?
Can you describe the room?
You're in a chamber that is, yes, should have done that already. You're in a chamber that's probably a total of about 20 feet, probably round. So yeah, we'll say there's, it's a sort of 20-foot diameter chamber. This thing that's trying to pull its way in seems to be like he would fill a large amount of it if he can make his way through. He seems to be, 12 feet tall. He was like hunched down. The doors are sort of portal doors. You came in through one that has been closed. This is coming from a different one. There are also some portal windows on the side looking out at like the sort of, sear green area. It is currently raining outside. Thick drops against sort of the glass.
So there's another door behind us, you say?
There
that
is a
he's
door
not
behind you,
coming through?
yes.
Yeah. We should back away. And I recommend that we back toward the door that's behind us, away from him.
Just gonna let the judge move on in, huh? Well, that's one approach. He's sort of moving back.
Why don't you tell us what we can possibly do? Because this is obviously a being that is not from here. In fact, I don't believe here is from here either. So why don't you tell us how to defeat this person?
He kind of just laughs, pulls out some cigarettes, lights one.
This is a contained environment.
Yeah. It's in the milieu for what's coming through. Well, I'm gonna let it roll, but it's like no, I want to see what you guys do. Let's see how you handle it. You'll have to do much worse than this if you're gonna find Oksana. He says that to Dahlia. If you want to help Oksana, you're gonna have to get used to doing stuff like this, handling situations.
Do whatever I have to find Oksana.
But if you nevertheless, if you guys are backing towards the door, he's not going to stop you, and he's kind of, he'll just sort of.
May I use sense to see if there are any, like, areas on the judge that may be more susceptible to damage?
Sure, make a sense roll.
A 6 on the dread die again.
Okay.
11, 12, 13.
Cool. Roll it. That's lovely. All right.
I'm so happy about 13 too until I remember.
13. Ah.
So, okay. That was close. It wobbled to 7.
To 7. Sure. There, definitely. See? 13's right there and 7's there. So
Yep. It wobbled.
So, well, that's delightful. With a 13, sort of looking at this form, he seems to be physically pretty intense. He really seems like he's a hardy individual. You don't really see too many weak points on his body, and you also, based on some of the minor injuries that he got, like the glancing blows, you actually saw his flesh healing itself, Elutella. He appears to be a creature that has some regenerative properties.
I informed the group.
It's not great news. And actually, at this point, as he's kind of coming in, you guys are doing this, we actually technically have to do the first one. Dan, let's have you roll for Heist Elise, if you would. And then I'm going to actually, let's go ahead and let... I'd like Andrew to roll on behalf of this domain. So Andrew, could you just roll 6 dice for me, have one of them be a dread die? And Dan, if you'll roll 4, one is a dread die, please. Actually, 5 and 1's a dread die. That's too big an advantage. What did we do last time? Does anyone remember? Was it 2 dice or 1 dice?
I don't remember.
Just roll 5. Roll 5.
I rolled 5. Okay.
6, right?
6. And treat all standard rules apply. Like have a dread die. If it's a 6, it explodes. A 1.
Oh.
Take it away.
Oh, that's a 1.
Ooh.
17.
So you take the 1 away, and you take away your next highest die.
The most highest, right?
Whatever the highest one is, yes.
Oh, in that case, that is a 12.
12.
Not bad.
Rawlings, what do you have?
22.
22. So, he's pushing through, but something kind of interesting is happening, Alutella. You've never seen something like this. The metal riveted plating of this domed chamber you find yourself in
Mm-hmm.
is being covered by an almost creeping substance that resolves at a range of about 5 feet into a pleasant, ancient-looking earth design, almost a damask-style wallpaper. And in the room, things smell. That cigarette that the man is smoking, it begins to, it's like the whole room smells like that, and of whiskey. And the sound of music that is playing behind the judge is heard more intensely, and more figures are actually pushing their way through.
Oh no!
And there's and in fact, you guys hear behind him. Let's just do a little bit of it. Kind of a sort of a, like a honky-tonk kind of jingle-jangle piano is playing, and you hear a voice in the distance being, "The score is worth more than a bright, sunny feeling. Hey, where's the judge going? Nothing is so revealing." And kind of, you hear like the sounds of like music playing and people looking, and you actually begin to see other faces looking over the judge. And one of them seems to be an undead individual. Rawlings, this is beginning to look familiar to you.
Yeah, yes, quite, yes.
As you see this like undead creature looking behind the judge. And I'm going to make a sense roll on his behalf. He will just have standard for this. I've rolled a 13. It doesn't count, but I'm going to say it is sufficient. Rawlings, this kind of butler whom you encountered as he was trying to drain your life as you escaped.
Mm-hmm.
I think you did have an interaction with him, right? Because you did some professor. So, yeah. He looks at you and says, "You, I remember you." Alutella and Alekia, you see what looks like a skeleton with rotting flesh on its face, but wearing a butler's livery, is attempting to move and saying, "Judge, no, get back, Your Honor. This is trouble."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "No, I'm getting in there. Something's going on."
While this is happening, may I try to sneak out of the room?
Sure. Yeah, make a stealth roll in that case, or sneak, or whatever it's called. It should just be under your physicals if you sneak. Just call it sneak.
Okay. That is a 17.
With a 17, based on everything that's going on, you open that door pretty darn quietly and open it. You do notice a few shrouded figures are looking into the room, having heard something going on there with some confusion. And most of them, though, are gathered at the windows in that other chamber, just looking like how is it raining on this planet? There shouldn't be enough atmosphere for that. But Pascal, if you're just leaving the room, you've done so without any issue. The drifter's just sort of in here smoking. What are Elutella, Alekia, Rawlings, and Dahlia doing?
I would like to blast the zombie that recognizes me, and then I would like to leave the room.
Understood. Okay, so go ahead and take your shot. You do have to roll on this because he has some sort of cover, so you'll have to do better than the usual level of success here. But you need a 15 or higher to hit him.
15 or higher. Well, I'm just going to spend. I'm going to roll my regular 2D. I'm not going to spend any power cubes. I'm going to hope for an exploding die, and either way, I'm running.
Understood.
No, that's a 0.
A 0. So you wait. It's a 0-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 1. I rolled a 1 on my dread die, and I rolled 2 dice.
Because according to the system, sometimes when it's a 0 or when sometimes when it's a 1 on the thing, you can have it be like a bad consequence. But I'm gonna say because you said you know what? I'll phrase it like this, and you shoot and the ray gun like overheats and like partially breaks in your hand.
Oh, that's not good. No.
And you just sort of rush out after Pascal and the drifters just going so soon? Okay. And the you hear as you sort of run, you hear that butler saying, "Oh, hey, he took a cheap shot at me. Bring me my Tommy gun," which you recall.
Oh yes, no, I don't want to be on the
Said
receiving end of
creature
that.
having last time. So Pascal and
Wow.
Alex both made it out of the room. Dahlia, Elutella, and Alekie. What are you all doing? You've seen much of your party beginning to flee as this massive thing is making his way in. And the drifter is just kind of there.
So can we see into the judge's home through?
As a matter
the
of
portal
fact,
a little
yes. You look through and you see make a sense roll for me. We'll say that's a freebie. We're in what I call soft initiative, where I kind of just let everyone do a thing, but then we sort of move on to.
And I turn to the drifter and be like, and ask if these intruders know where Oksana is.
They don't, but I'm going to be honest with you, Dahlia, and he kind of leans towards you and says, "They're from the place that's making things so hard for Oksana right now. There's a vampire in charge there, and that's what's causing all the trouble." He's like, "I'm really not sure how to play this, to be honest. I just... But they don't know where she is, no, sorry."
If I hurt them, does it hurt the vampire that's making things bad for her?
No, it actually probably helps. He pauses and looks at you, Talia. No, but... And then he smiles and says, "You're not just pretty and a good performer. You're a genius, too." Alekie and Elutella, what are you up to?
So I rolled a 13 on my sense roll. So
Oh!
I just
Yo, betrayers!
What'd you roll
But,
on the
but I-
dread die? Or on the D13?
an 11.
Okay. With a 13 sense roll, looking past, you see a richly appointed room, a design like nothing you've ever seen. It's very ornate, certainly seems Terran or human, but maybe from their oldest traditions. It seems like a very technologically inferior room, and yet it is filled with various creatures and has an energy that you instinctively can tell would cause trouble in its own way.
I look. Can my gamma staff catch anything on fire?
Ooh.
That is not an ability your gamma staff has, unfortunately. You're shooting these more sort of rays. However, if you want to create fire in the room, I'll tell you
He
what.
won't stop you.
I'll tell you what. We don't have a luck mechanic. You could roll a d6.
Do it.
And we'll increase by whatever you roll. And we will say there are some, because this is a non-sort of like technological thing, we'll say there are some non-computerized incendiary devices in this chamber.
In our chamber.
In the current chamber you're in.
Roll a d6.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 4.
You 2, 3, and that's 3, and 4.
What is that song from other than the animated Robin Hood?
I think it's from the animated Robin Hood.
Okay, that is the origin of that ditty. Okay,
I'm 99% sure.
cool. Just making sure.
Cool. Hey guys, we're already at 6. We could go all the way around. We can do it. We can get to our 13.
I believe in a thing called love, and I also believe in a thing called rolling 13.
We're about to, Dahlia, you just, because the Drifter hadn't thought of it, neither did I. But Liv, you might have just blown stuff up in a real fun way.
Oh no!
But basically, he's yeah.
She did it for love.
And Elutella, so Lekia, you do see there are some incendiary devices. Elutella, are you still hiding, or have you also run out of the room?
I will just continue to be behind Elekie.
Understood. So you're hiding behind Elekie.
He's my only hope.
So help me, Elekie, you're my only hope. Elekie, you see some firebomb, like some fires kindling stuff of that nature.
I would like to grab it and throw it to try to catch his house on fire.
Understood. We can't do the throwing part yet, but you can definitely grab it and prepare on this turn. Pascal, did you have another thing?
While everyone, especially the handsome man, is distracted, I would like to make my transmission, given all of the interesting things that I've just seen.
I'll tell you what. You rolled a pretty good stealth, and now Rawlings has sort of come through Rawlings, you left the room, right?
Yes.
You took a shot and rolled. So basically, Rawlings
I was trying to Tommy gun range.
You sort of like snuck in, and Pascal, as you entered, there were several shrouded creatures, including that Jikihurk. But they were all like looking at the windows, and just like, what is this going on? Rawlings bust past them, so you were kind of like crouched below Rawlings, and no one's paying attention to you. You can go ahead and make a transmission. But I'm going to say, because you've already sort of like hid this turn, it'll be a one dice penalty, so you can remove one dice. But if you want to, you could spend.
I'll use 3 power die.
Power cube it up. All right. So as you use 3 cubes of power, you'll now have you'll have 2 more on that, which means you'll be at a 7.
Yeah.
7D.
Oh, damn it. Oh, no.
Did you roll a 1?
Yes. And this is just terrible.
What?
9.
9. So you rolled incredibly bad across the board, but also
just incredible.
That's because basically what you're saying is that's it. 4D added up to 9. That is very rough. I'm very sorry. So Pascal, you attempt to do a transmission, but we can make this be both your inability to do it, because to get a transmission out of here does require incredibly high rolls, since you're literally within a shroud. So we will sort of say that in your panic and in your attempt to do this, and despite digging deep, you at this moment realize the true nature of this place that you are. This is an absolute sort of technological and transmission dead zone. You really are within a shroud. So we'll say that you now have the full context of that when you're unable to sort of do this, putting so many resources behind it. Cool. And then who would like to roll on behalf of this place today? Rawlings, go ahead and roll with 5.
5?
Yes. And you can spend your own power cubes for this if you'd like to.
Wait, am I rolling for Heistles or for?
You're rolling for Heistles.
Great.
You're always the intruder. Would anybody like to roll for the current place?
Sure, I will.
Oh.
Go for it, Liv. Roll 6D, one of them being a dread die.
I'll start the power cube.
And to make things fun, try to roll low. It's gonna be much better if you roll low. It'll be better for Dahlia if you roll low, actually. Well, tricky. That's hard to say. I'll half walk.
I don't like this puzzle that you have presented me with. I'm not a fan. All right. 12, 20.
Damn,
22.
I rolled an 18.
18.
Yeah, a lot of 3s and 2s.
22. So basically, the spread that you've been noticing, Elutella, really stops. And these creatures are like, though the judge, the judge will have to roll to push his way through. This is just for him. That is, the judge can't make his way through, and neither can the various things behind him. He's finding like that mist that's kind of like, there's a little bit of that purple mist that he's finding it like too hard to pass through, even though he's halfway. He's like, he's scratching for people, but he can't make it through. This realm is resisting his passage. with that, we're going to go to Dahlia first, though, because the Drifter sort of is looking at you and saying, you know what? It's not going to be easy. But if you really, really want to help Oksana,
Yes.
the best thing you could do is go through that door. He points to the door filled by the troll. Bring as many as your friends will go with you, and kill a vampire named Violet.
Violet?
She's gonna be tough. I'll give you whatever help I can. Though I'm fresh out of the moment, he kind of looks at like a little flask on his side. But if you go through there, if that vampire dies, the heat is off Oksana in a big way.
I kill Violet. Oksana is safe.
He kind of gives you a little wink. That's exactly right. It's a tough chore. I'm not sure how long that door will be open, but if you go now, if anybody goes with you, you'll have a chance.
Dolly is going. Is everyone still in the room? Some people have fled, haven't they?
Rawlings and Pascal have fled, although Rawlings is still like you hear Rawlings just.
Yeah, I'm like around the door frame.
Yeah.
I'm not like far.
I'm right behind
and
Alekia.
Eletella are sort of are still in the room. Alekia kind of gathering up stuff to like throw in a firebomb.
Call out to Pascal and Rawlings and urge them to come back.
Okay. Pascal and Rawlings, you hear Dahlia calling for you to come back. Eletella, yes.
I go ahead and tuck my antenna back in my mouth.
Your broken antenna.
And just like kind of like be like, okay, everything's fine, walk stride back in.
Okay.
Can I see that Alekia is gathering things that are flammable?
You definitely see that.
Yes, Alekia, I would just like to remind you that I do have delicate and quite flammable wings on my person. So if you would, please avoid getting any flames anywhere near me.
Judge
I do
Blunder,
appreciate it.
hearing you say this, says, "Flammable? Oh no!" Alekia,
Oh shit.
it is your turn.
I throw the firebombs in to start burning his house down.
All right, so he's covering much of the doorframe. So if you're trying to get it past him, go ahead.
And I don't care if I hit him either. I mean,
go ahead and
he
make
can
a
burn.
physical roll. Then I'll say if you can hit him, provided you roll a 6 or higher, you're gonna at least hit him. But it's a normal physical. Yeah.
Fuck. It's a
Oh
4.
no. Oh.
A 4?
I rolled a 1
Yeah.
on my dread die.
I bet you did. So you throw it, Alekia. I need you and Elutella to actually make a resist injury.
Okay.
As the fireball basically explodes in front of both of you.
And that has to include a dread die, right?
It does.
Okay.
24.
24.
6, 7.
And she's behind me. Does that change anything?
Sure. Add an extra die on there. Elutella.
I'm gonna use 3 dread die.
3
I
power
got 8.
cubes.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
And you
No,
get an
that's
extra
3
one.
die.
Oh.
You get an extra. Yeah, you could only spend 2 if you wanted. You're gonna get 1 for being behind Alekia. That's fair.
Oh, I only have to spend 2?
You spend 2, you'll get to add 3. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Oh man.
12 plus 8. 20.
With
Right?
a 20,
Yeah.
both of you manage to there's no dodging it, but you kind of just move past the flames. Elutella will say your wings are able to stay out of the top of them. Pascal is kind of moving back into the room. Rawlings, what are you doing?
Yes, I'm looking into the room. I want to ascertain that the person with the Tommy gun is no longer there, and then I will go in if it seems clear.
You don't see the person with the Tommy gun anywhere. What you do see, however, is flame is now filling this doorway. And as Elutella and Alekia are kind of backing up, the judge who was, or not filling the doorway, but kind of right between you in the doorway, the judge, as he's he snarls and actually pushes his way back into his chamber. So now what you all see, basically, kind of from your position, is about like 5 feet in front of the door. There's just this like flame about 5 feet high, casting dark smoke in this room. It's raining outside. You see there's this odd wallpaper spread on the wall, on the curved sort of domature before it gives out to just being the standard like nondescript metal. That's kind of what you're faced with at this point. Dahlia.
And you said the judge was backing.
The judge is backing away
fire?
specifically from fire. The judge does not seem to like fire. To quote a character who is often inaccurately named Frankenstein's monster, the monster's name is actually Frankenstein. It's a common mistake people make. The monster is called Frankenstein. Like the guy who's green. In the book, he's green and has bolts in his neck, and his name is Frankenstein. And everybody's like, no, that's just the movies. He's really Frankenstein. Anyway, misnomer. The point is, to quote Frankenstein, fire bad. Long walk for me to say that. Anywho.
Isn't Frankenstein? I can't even. You did that with such a straight face.
It's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein!
Frankenstein. Frankenstein, actually.
Frankenstein. He was my boyfriend. So anyway, guys, we can do Young Frankenstein lines all night. There's no question about that. The question is, what is everyone doing now as this burst of flame is rising up between this place and the other? You guys have managed to get out of it, kind of, and stuff, but now there's like a barrier of flame between you.
I'm looking like I'm trying to...
And the drifter just goes, oh, whoa. He kind of looks at you and goes, man, I really thought you were going to be better than that. That was...
Can I do an analyze check to see what the best mode to escape would be? Like the best path? Or...
No roll is required. You should run out the door that Pascal and Rawlings have just re-entered through. And they've only taken a couple steps in. The drifter's kind of standing at like 5 feet to the side of that door, just smoking. Dahlia's sort of standing with him, looking at the flame.
Okay. Well, I would like to address the man and say, are you going to help or not? Because one of the things that I'm doing is trying to use the resource that is available, which is you, and you apparently appear to know what is going on. So why don't you inform us?
This can go either way. I'm gonna let you guys play this how you want.
So inform us as to what would be the best route to escape with our lives.
He solders over to you, and he just kind of lets his cigarette dangle in his. Do I have a? This is too thick, but I'm just gonna.
It's a blunt.
He just touches your nose and goes, "You're cute when you're flustered." He's cool.
Wait, am I charmed? Am I charmed
By him?
Or can I hate it?
You can hate it.
Okay, I hate it.
But deep down, he thinks you like it. So Elutella, as he kind of just goes, you're I'm just gonna be gross, and yet so good looking. What is everyone else doing?
I don't wish. I'm not gonna run through.
Sure.
I'm just looking like I'm trying to divide by 0.
Yeah. So Rawlings and Pascal are there. So Dahlia, he's kind of told you that you got to go through there and ask them. They've rushed back into the room. Is there anything you want to do?
I want to unmute myself. Yes, I want to convince them all to come with me through the portal thing.
Make a convince. Or manipulate, whichever it's called on your...
Yes.
Yeah.
Manipulate.
That being said, since it is PvP, basically just go ahead and make your manipulate, make your argument for why they should come with you.
I think we need to explore this phenomenon and understand it in order to prevent further incursion, but also clearly there's a threat there and it needs to be dealt with. I'm in a relationship with these people.
He just kind of smiles as you're doing this.
I'm going to appeal to their sense of inner good. Hopefully.
Always a good plan.
Okay. 18. That was a 2, but I hit it. 18, 20, 27.
Okay, with a 27, Dahlia has always been very charming. She's always, those of you who've known her for a while have sort of seen her work her magic even when she's a brain in a jar. Now she's really laying it on. Because you are,
For goodness and for love.
For player characters, I will simply sort of say that she does, and the Drifter kind of just like whistling. He's just like, whoa. He's impressed. He's like, I should have been using this one a long time. So I will say that none of you are compelled to go with Dahlia, but you're certainly welcome to. And he kind of, the Drifter sort of looks at you, Dahlia, and just gives you this look of like, it's like, I think you're gonna be able to do it. He's like, I think you can do what you want to do. He believes in you. That being said, there is now flame between you and that space. And at this point, Rawlings, please roll on behalf of Hystales. And Lauren, why don't you roll on behalf of this place?
How many?
6D with a dread die.
Unless something miraculous happens, I'm gonna lose this one. That was a 9.
2.
The one on the dread die that kills you.
The one on the dread die demolishes you. What do we got?
13.
Oh, you are so cool.
Yes!
Roll it.
Unbelievable. How dare. Honestly, the weirdest thing is that I have not rolled one in a while.
12.
Ooh, we're getting up there. I love it. Okay, so, delightful. Ooh, we're at 7 already. As
Thanks,
he, so as sort of you notice though, Dahlia, that all that wallpaper that had been spreading, it's now on fire. Basically, this domain is pushing back at this incursion. And the Drifter, you notice he's like moving his hand slightly, and you almost seem to think that some of that like mist is like moving in response to what he's doing. Some of that purple mist on the other side. But he just looks at you and says, you have to go if you're going.
Do I trust him in this moment?
Make an insight roll.
Is that dreadful?
It is dread. Yes, it is. Yes, it's dread unless you... Yeah, for you it's just 4D. Oh, dear.
11. 17.
You know that this guy is a master manipulator. You know that he's got angles that you're unaware of. But he's not lying to you that the cause of Dahlia's problems is through that door. That if you take out this person named Violet the Vamp, Oksana will be safer. There's probably a lot he's not telling you. You're no dummy. You get that there's stuff, but that's not a lie. If you take out Violet the Vamp, the heat is off the vampires. And Mikey Santangelo in his grave will be heartbroken.
Too bad, he's dead. All right. So,
R.I.P. Mikey.
R.I.P. Mikey. Dahlia's going to look back and go, well, are you coming?
I do not think it is wise to trust a man in a mask.
There was also quite a bit of flame around.
I'm not asking you to trust the man in the mask. I'm asking you to trust me. I saved you all. I'm asking for your help.
Oh, sounds good to me.
I
The
look
one
at
she didn't save. Literally, the one person
The
here.
only person I didn't save. I saved all of you.
Oh my god.
there a way I can do an astrometrics check
Jewish guilt.
here?
It's not applicable.
Okay.
You don't whatever's happening is.
And is there still the judge and a bunch of fire in front of us?
There are creatures behind that door. Although it seems like the passage is shrinking, but this is so basically, yes, this is simply a moment. I'm not compelling any of you. I'll say it was a very compelling thing. She's using her Dahlia guilt on you, having saved you, and is now asking for your help. But I am not compelling any of you players to go through it. It's entirely up to what you think the characters would do based on that level of manipulation.
Yeah.
It's certainly, and I mean, there's no
Play your characters.
We're definitely play your characters. It is very dangerous to run through fire into a room where there's a monster and undead creatures. But do what you would do.
I am very sorry, Dahlia, but I cannot go in there. I will catch on fire.
I'll cover you.
He looks at you and says, if you're going, you have to go now.
I must remain with the Velderal.
I do not believe in luck, but best of luck if you are going.
Rawlings,
Dahlia,
I saved your life.
I shall be eternally grateful for as long as I live. The knowledge is here. I cannot leave here. And I cannot, and not only can I not leave here, I am not going to run through fire into a room filled with a troll, a large troll, and the guns they fire, the weapons they fire, Dahlia, they are these crude projectiles that rip through flesh like metal teeth.
And I am not made of flesh.
Good for you. I am.
We are.
I am very fleshy.
Dahlia, you can't really even see the purple mist any longer. It's just closing.
I'm just gonna go.
Dahlia runs. Dahlia rushes through. Pascal, are you going with her?
Yeah. Oh, I'll go with her. Yes, of course.
Pascal,
I mean, you guys
very
synths gotta stick together.
Split
Pascal,
the party,
please make a Dahlia. You actually don't have to. Pascal, you sort of don't have to, but I'm gonna have you do this. Please make a resist injury roll.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, hello. Great. When it explodes, and if I roll another 6, does it keep exploding?
Yeah, you continue exploding.
Okay. And I only roll one die when it explodes?
Yeah, it
correct?
explodes. You just keep rolling that die until it's not a 6.
I understand. Okay, great. That is a 22.
With a 22, Pascal, you managed to go through, and the worst that was going to happen was all your synth flesh was going to burn off, and you would have just been like a T-1000. But you managed to kind of like rush through and just kind of like, sort of sprint and move and pat yourself out quickly. Dahlia, you go through getting nice crisp. The two of you find yourselves passing through flame. The two sort of inorganic bodies walk through. And the drifter who's like he's been holding something, he's been doing something. The two of them go through that door. And Rawlings, Elutella, and Aleki, all you see is flame burning in the room.
A bold choice, but not a wise one.
I quite agree, yes.
The drifter goes, "Is anyone going to put out this fire?"
Is there an air source in the room? Like is there like a vent or something?
You actually probably is there a vent?
I'm trying to determine if there is a place where oxygen is coming in, so maybe we could block that to make
no,
the fire.
It's not. There's no air vent as such in here. No. There's no way to seal this room off or anything.
Okay. That was the question I should have asked.
Yeah. But he just kind of looks and goes, "Well, I hope that works out." He kind of just looks at the others.
How callous does he seem about that?
He seems he kind of just like, hope it works out. Well, this is a mess. It's a smoky mess. God. It's still raining out there too.
It is a smoky mess that you presumably can help with. You can open what I presume are portals.
I can't open portals. I can sometimes play around the fringes of them, but typically I don't have that kind of ability. This was a
Okay,
unique
well, my
circumstance.
strengths are scientific analysis.
Let's get
and
out of
they
the
are not
room that's on fire here. And he kind of walks out and says, "Good news to all of his shrouded people. The two robots, they're gone." And the shrouded people all just start applauding. He's like, "Yeah, the awareness doesn't have any more agents here, so everything's okay." He puts out his cigarette. All right, that's a habit for another area. But yeah, I got to talk to. I am surprised none of you went with her. I thought that speech was. I thought that was amazing.
There are more amazing things here than there.
I
He kind
wished
of
her
walks over
luck.
to you and says, "Very interesting idea, Mr. Rawlings. I need to have a little chat with you all."
I would love nothing more.
Wonderful. Guys, I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit at a loss of what to do at this exact moment. So obviously, we're not going to be seeing Dahlia or Pascal again until next week's Live Spectacular.
Oh, that's right.
Had you gone through alone, it was okay. That was what I suddenly realized. Because next week, chapter 54, I'm gonna have to send Pascal and Dahlia some appropriate D&D noir rules.
Maybe
for their
Pascal
characters.
ends up in some void somewhere.
So we'll because we'll be doing that next week. So I think Pascal and Dahlia. Pascal will be there, but I think everyone else where I'm only following the ones who went through. That being said, I'm sort of giving this as an opportunity. You guys should stick around if you want to, but Pascal and Dahlia, you are done for the evening.
No, I'm gonna chill and watch.
Yeah, chill and watch.
Yeah, I'll chill and watch.
Wonderful, perfect. Okay, cool.
That's a series wrap on Dahlia and Pascal. Thank you.
It's not a series wrap. It's a
They're getting a spin-off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a season wrap.
season wrap. Yeah, they'll be on their own spin-off,
wrap.
and there'll be bad blood with you guys because they took a spin-off. Okay, great. So, he kind of just like laughs, and actually some of these shrouded people, they bring in some blankets and sort of stamp out the flames, and he just sort of chuckles, turning to Rawlings and Elatella and Alekia and saying, "Well, getting rid of the robot, actually, not Dahlia, the other one, that kind of solved a couple problems."
We did not get rid of him. He chose to go.
Well,
He was inconsequential to our goals.
I don't know if I'd put it that way.
Has he introduced himself to us?
No.
What is your name?
He kind of just puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Don't worry about my name. Worry
Then
about my job."
Well, how should we refer to you, and what is your job?
I work for a variety of powerful individuals with like-minded goals. People who...
The Lords of Domains.
kind of looks at all the shrouded people and goes, "All right, we're going to have to go back in the smoking room. Come on in here, you guys." And he just kind of leads you and Elatella and Alekia, closes the door. He'll crack a window so there's a little, airflow. It's raining out there a bit. He kind of looks out, shakes his head. "All right, so you, sir, seem to have a little bit of a picture of what's going on. What about these
I've
two?"
seen. Did Alekia see the Book of 13?
Alekia did not. Alekia probably did not watch the movie, but he's aware that it's there. And he was present when you explained it to him and Elatella.
I have explained the general concepts to them in passing, but I think I have a much greater knowledge than probably most of the people out past that door.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. God. So you understand the Lords. Tell me some of their names. And if you'd like Yeah, I mean, you can say any that you know, but you basically know all of them.
I'll just name like two. I'll name three of them.
Okay.
I'll just name the first three. I'll name 1, 2, 3.
Okay, cool.
Just in order.
Okay, perfect. If you go 1, 2, 3, you tell him Princess Batara, Mr. Forksendoffer, and Ugeltlur. And he just kind of holds up a hand. And when he says Ugeltlur, Elutella, that was great because I was going in alphabetical order. You do get a bit of a tingle, remembering that deal from a couple of sessions back that maybe people forgot about.
I did not.
But he's like, okay.
I want to make it clear. Also, I have no motive aside from knowledge and understanding.
Oh, that's perfect. It's always easier when you don't have It's always easier when you have no motive other than that. I do have other motives.
Oh, that's very clear. Yes.
So you've heard the names of some of these lords. Have you heard of someone called the Lute? And you would have, in fact, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
The
Lute's not
from the domain. Oh.
It's Violet the Vamp now, and that's a big problem.
So you just took out a hit on one of the lords of the domains of dread.
That's correct. That I'll be honest with you. That ugly fellow who was trying to cover the door, he was who we thought was going to take over.
Yes, I have had a brief interaction with his goons before.
You've been to Heistles.
Yes.
Fantastic. You ever meet someone named Sarah Quill?
Was she unconscious by the time I got there?
Yes. You would have chatted with her once or twice, from her bed, but yeah.
Very, very, very briefly.
She's also got a touch of the bites.
Well, then I shall avoid her if I see her.
Good call. All right. What do you think of these two? He sort of gestures to Elutella and Alekia.
I've only briefly met them, but Alekia is very honorable, and we are now comrades in battle. So I hope that I look at him and I say, I hope that accounts for something. Elutella seems very, very intellectually capable. She's been helping to provide me with the knowledge of this domain that I obviously I'm from Merkshire, and the technological capacity of this domain is far beyond that of my own, and so I am.
The capacity of this domain is beyond pretty much any of the other ones as far as tech goes. Magic-wise, they've got almost nothing. I've given them a couple trinkets out there, these members of the Shroud, and they're beyond impressed. Think they found the secret of everything. See, the Dark Lord of this domain is a being called the Awareness.
Yes. I'll explain to him what happened on the station with when I wrote the awareness down and the robot saw it.
Oh boy. I'm glad I started this whole Shroud thing. This was the way to do it, but geez, there's too many damn robots. If you're gonna have a Dark Lord, well, I suppose from the Dark Lord's perspective, it's the perfect thing. All right. In all of your incredible knowledge here, buddy, he kind of looks. Actually, he's gonna make narratively, this is perfect. He glances at Elutella and Alekia, kind of doing a quick insight roll, on which I roll a 1 on my dread die, removing the 6, and everything else was 1s and 2s. So, I'm giving you a peek behind the curtain of an NPC, don't really care. He looks at Elutella and Alekia and sees no reason to think either of them could possibly be players on the scale, could have any connection to other Dark Lords. This is all safe. He kind of just nods and says, all right. In all your gatherings of this impressive information, Mr. Rollins, did you ever see reference to something called the Alliance of the Pearl?
I haven't, right?
You have not.
No, what is that?
A few of the Dark Lords they have a position that, as bad as things are, and as much power as they want, the fundamental shape of these domains is something they'd like to maintain. You were just in a place called, I believe you come from a place called Merkshire. The Dark Lord there is a horse. A spirit horse, at least.
Yeah.
The Black Horse is a member of this alliance, which means is one of my employers. The Lute, who well, not to blow my own space horn, but who I basically took out single-handed, thanks to a couple of very, very easily manipulated people, was a member of a different organization called the Mistbreakers. The Mistbreakers are trying to shake things up. They think they might have a way out of here if they all work together to break down these boundaries, to mess with the powers that be, to fight against the Mist. My employers worry at what might happen to them on a personal level if such a thing happened. So we took out the Lute, trying to sort of mess with their abilities, but then our preferred candidate to take over wasn't chosen. And between you and me, one of the other domains, you would have known what that other one was. All right, you knew that there was something called, the Shuffling Domain. Notably, this did not have a single Dark Lord. The Shuffling Domain had different Dark Lords based on the different sort of circumstances that arose when it was visited. He'll sort of say, the Shuffling Domain is gone. Now, typically, that was an unaligned domain. Something new has formed in its place. And because
So there's still 13 domains.
There still are 13. I haven't visited the new one yet. It's not a good idea to be the first, we don't want to be the, who's someone you'd, well, in any case, you don't want to be the first explorer. I don't think you know Neil Armstrong, but that's the point.
No.
We don't know what that domain is. We don't know who's going to be there, and which side this Dreadlord's going to fall. Maybe they'll be on one, maybe they'll be on the other. But we used to have a balance that I was trying to upset, because the Shuffling Domain, uniquely, was always neutral. It was changing too much to have a real impact. Now that it's gone, we don't know who's going to be there, which means what happens in Hysteles, which side it falls on, is incredibly important. Are you following me so far?
Yes.
This domain, this awareness, also wants to break things up. Member of the Mistbreakers. I don't get along so well with the awareness. That's why I made this Shroud.
Yes. Quite.
Trust the Shroud.
Precisely. What do you think? A little too on the nose?
Explain.
It's trust the Shroud. It'll protect you from the awareness. And that's what these people believe, and the movement's growing slowly, but in critical places. The awareness is trouble. So are all the Mistbreakers. The Lute was trouble. Princess Batar is trouble. Ugel Plur is a lot of trouble. And Johannes Gerstenkorn, he's big trouble because he's a vampire. So you see why we're now suddenly worried about another vampire potentially being on the side of these Mistbreakers. That's why everyone in our domains is shutting down vampires. We're shutting them down in Paradise. We're shutting them down in Berkshire. We're shutting them down everywhere we have control. Your friend, she loves a vampire from Paradise.
Interesting.
I was trying to get her to help me find that vampire so we could make sure that they were not having any powerful influence, but she's now going off to maybe solve my whole problem, because let me tell you, a robot woman in love who can manipulate people like that, I'm still shocked none of you went through. Man, that was impressive.
I mean, if it's you are far more interesting than her.
Oh,
I disagree.
be still my heart. Oh, sorry to hear
I-
moth lady. I still think you're cute, though. Yeah, sure.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So there's the Alliance of the Pearl, and there are the Mistbreakers.
Correct.
What do the Mistbreakers, and if the Alliance of the Pearl believes that as well as something different, what do each of these groups believe is beyond this then, beyond these domains?
That is a complicated question, my friend.
I've seen the Book of 13. I think I can handle that.
There's a dark power to this place. I think if you've seen the Book of 13, you've had a sense of this, but I'll confirm it. The Dark Lord of each domain is in absolute power and likes nothing more than to torment the people within. But there are things they want, things none of those saps can ever have, and they all suffer worse, well, relatively speaking, than any of their, shall we say, constituents. He kind of gets real close to you. These domains are their prisons, not yours, not ours.
Incredible.
We're free to do as we want. They're not. Now, granted, we're up against it, and they can squash us like bugs, and usually do.
Right, yes.
But we have more free will than they have. We have more opportunity. We have freedom in a way that they'll never experience. And somebody like me, I'm a even rarer bird. But we don't need to. We don't need to get into that.
What species of bird is that?
I'm something called a mistwalker.
Is that as simple as it sounds?
It's as simple as it sounds, friend. I
How
can
does one
go
do that?
wherever I want. You're not a bad candidate, actually. Stick with me, friend. Stick with me. The Alliance of the Pearl. This is who I represent and who I strongly recommend you side with. This consists of Mr. Forkenstoffer of the Fractured Factory, the Lich Queen Visibadiroth of Ignador, Longivus Mons of the domain of the same name, the Black Horse, the Stone Man, and the dragon called Basing Smoke of a plane called Tabakatos.
Well, it always seems to be on the good side of a dragon.
A dragon, an alien species.
Precisely. A dragon. Yeah, these are all alien species to you, dear.
Yes, but within this realm or domain or
Different
This-
dimension.
yes.
There's only one Dark
Very
Lord
well.
in your dimension, and it's on the other side. It's called the Awareness, and well, it's trouble.
Wait, the other side of the mist.
Yes, the other group. See, I work for the Alliance of the Pearl. The others are Mistbreakers. They want to break everything down. They think that they could shake these domains up, that might weaken these powers looking down on them, and that would give them a chance to escape. My bosses know that that's lunacy. Which is not to say my bosses don't think they can escape. My bosses all think they can escape. They're all dead wrong. But they're not as wrong as the Mistbreakers, if you take my meaning.
So there is one group who would like to maintain the walls of mist, so to speak, in between the domains, and another that would like to break them down and just have everything everywhere
Elu,
all the time.
as you describe breaking down the mist and having everything everywhere all the time, you get this briny scent in your nose, and your lungs feel full in a pleasant way, in a fulfilling way. Some long, distant, interplanar connection makes your fingers tingle. Really, all of you tingle. Your wingtips tingle. The idea of breaking down that mist is... I don't want to say it's erotic, but that's how I just described it. So it's borderline at best. But it is so... It's so appealing. And you feel that your lungs full for that second in a way where you're almost like, yes. As you realize that if you broke down those walls, you could dominate. Think of without those boundaries, what could Ugol Tlur do? How far could his seas spread? Meanwhile, the Drifter's just kind of going on and on about all this stuff. So yeah, point being, it's I wouldn't trust any of them. Yeah.
Trust.
What? So then, what is the greater being that is keeping all these Dark Lords imprisoned?
That is a mystery. I'm not even sure it is a being. It may just be a force.
A power,
Karma.
yeah.
Who knows? Powers. Maybe it is one entity. I heard somebody once tell me they thought it was a doll, which sounded insane to me. But maybe it's crazy.
Did I
enough to
see
be
the doll?
case.
Oh,
God, did Rawlings ever see a doll in Berkshire? I think you saw it or you heard about it at some point. Yes, you certainly.
Would that be something that would I make that? I mean, because I don't want to metagame. Would I make that connection?
Yeah, I think that's fine. You were aware. You heard stuff. Like,
I heard of it.
I think so, because when you were there when the doll was at the end of the bed when Conrad was sitting there.
yeah.
No, wasn't that
No,
Mikey?
wasn't it? That was Mikey, right?
Oh, that's right. No, you're right. My bad.
But no, I cannot imagine no one, even if it wasn't even on stream, there's no way no one mentioned that doll to Rawlings at any point.
When I was in Merkshire, before I first traveled to Heistleys, there was talk of some strange doll that was with Siobhan was her name. One of the people that I was at.
No, I talked to Shroud.
You met her?
Yeah.
Did you ask her about the doll?
Girl, Sarah. A doll in Merkshire, that's interesting. I'm gonna be honest with you. That place gives me the creeps.
Yeah, I mean it's quite dreadful. Pardon the pun.
All right, well, I'll get back there at some point. The Black Horse is often wondering how things have been going. Black Horse is very involved. I'd phrase it as... The Black Horse is not the most involved, not the most aware, but drives things. Doll. Something to look into at some point. For now, I could use some help.
Yes.
Well,
Do you want to?
why would we trust you?
You don't have to
You
trust.
say many words, yet all I see are dead Tib Wibbits and a lack of honor.
Well, I'm going to be very straight with you, Valderal. If you're looking for honor, I'm not the guy to talk to. But my bosses are. I'm a dishonorable man. But the side I represent is all about honor and order. The side I don't represent, they want to tear things down, have anarchy. How honorable does that sound to you?
Just sit back.
Yeah.
I'm still listening.
You can't trust me. But you can trust my employers. You can trust our side. If you're going to stay here, in this place, man. You know what? I sent the other one off on a big errand. I'm all about dreaming big today. Mr. Rawlings,
Yes.
I will make you a Mistwalker. I will kill one of the current ones and let you take their place if you want. I will make
Is
that
that how
happen.
that works? There's only a certain number and
Guess how many there are.
13.
You're catching on. He pulls out a knife. I'm gonna make a true vow to you now. Okay. There's no fucking around with this. He slices into his hand. His blood starts, kind of like pouring out, and he sort of says, "By the mist itself, I swear to you that I will make you a Mistwalker if you kill the awareness." And you hear thunder rumble in the distance, some confirmation, some acknowledgement of what he's just said. He kind of gives you a look. Kind of rubs in the cut on his hand, and then he sort of says, and, along the way, awareness is a special one for you because with all those data banks and backups it has, think of all the things you could become aware of in the process of killing the awareness.
Yes.
You want information.
So much knowledge. Yeah, yes.
It's the best one, baby. Knowledge and the freedom to dwell wherever you want if you can perform this for me. Ordinarily, I would deem this an insane thing to suggest, but you've already seen 3 domains. I have some confidence that you could do this. I will provide you with whatever assistance I can. But if you do this, you will be handsomely rewarded. And despite my lack of honor, he kind of taps his hand. It's a vow I literally can't break.
I accept.
Great. Well, let me tell you a little bit about how hard this is going to be. And as he sort of sits back, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Wow. That was juicy.
That was intense. Woo.
Baby.
So,
Nice.
The fact that you rolled Heisteles for the thing, Andrew, that was a big deal. Oh, Andrew, he popped out. That was a huge deal because that meant it was a relevant place. Really, either that or Paradise would be the only places he would have sent Dahlia to. So Dahlia's on a mission. I gotta make
I don't know how the dice know to do what we need them to do, but the dice know to do what we need them to do with these fucking 13s.
It's so
Dice
fun.
are cool, fickle mistresses.
Yeah, so we've ended here now. We are at 7 on the dread clock. Oh man, that's some real fun stuff. I really enjoy that. So next week, we're gonna be taking a brief detour back to Heisteles.
That's crazy.
For a session with Dahlia and Pascal, her friend who's
Was Dahlia gonna navigate Heisteles? Jesus.
as a robot.
A robot in a water setting.
Actually, I've already. I don't even want to say anything about this. I think I already know what I'm gonna do to make that game sort of feel different. I'll talk to the two players about that because this is gonna be a very interesting session next week for Dahlia and Pascal.
Okay.
Then, based on factors, probably 2 weeks after that, we will return to here to Rocket Base 95. Though honestly, I don't know. All sorts of things could happen, and I love it. Dahlia's a woman on a mission. Well, that was super fun.
There was no way Dahlia was not gonna go. Like once that was made clear.
When he was saying that, I was like, oh my god, next week is Session Live, which means this is perfect. And anyone it's your mission, but even if you go along, even if you go alone, this will work.
It's still
so that's going to be great. Well, this was super fun. I hope everyone out there watching enjoyed. I think my players, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Despite the fun narrative stuff going on, I do apologize to Andrew and Liv for giving you guys a door which you walked through, and then we're sort of sitting there for a while.
No, it was fine.
But
No, it was great. Absolutely.
Sometimes you split the party, and that's what happens.
Oh my god, exactly.
It's as fun to play as it is to watch.
Oh man, I'm so excited to see what Raleigh's does when. Oh god, Point is, now that we're a year into it, you guys now the curtains draw back and you see some bigger picture things going on, and that's real fun. Kind of some of the other stuff these Dark Lords are up to, so that's been super awesome. So I want to say thanks to this. Do we have people to thank in?
We have so many people to thank tonight.
So many.
We had Apostrophe This gave out a community sub gift tonight. Minnesota Twins gave out a gift tonight.
Thank you.
Galanorian Saber, I think I said it right, gave it another gift. We had a hype train tonight. We had Minnesota Twins popping off. We had Apostrophe This gave out another community sub gift. Minnesota Twins gave another one. Minnesota Twins gave another one. Apostrophe This gave another one. Apostrophe This gave another one. It keeps going. I'm just going through. We had a level 4 hype train happening. We had Orsak Narrative Universe.
Yeah, from my TikTok. Thanks for
5
joining.
community sub gifts tonight. We had Rep RPG and RF Chaos rating this evening. We had so much going on. It was
my gosh.
You popped off.
I was unaware of any of that, but thank you all so much for doing that. That's amazing.
So if you're ever wondering why he doesn't respond, he's 2 in it. So that's us, the players, thanking you guys so much, and he will be here at the end. Thank you.
I don't have the chat up. I have my documents of. Ooh, and here's the little secret thing that'll kill him behind this door. They never open the doors. Also, the doors are rolled randomly, so why did I make that? That was a dumb thing to make. Oh, man. Well, that was super fun. Well, thank you all so much for all that support during the stream. That was awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was some really fun stuff.
Also, we're 8 people away from 700 followers.
Oh, hey. Well, yeah. Well,
That's fantastic.
Well, please,
Tell your friends.
Please give us
They
a follow.
don't even have to watch. Just have them follow.
Just have them follow us. Yeah, that would be amazing. Please follow sub if you can, or link your free Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, all that fun stuff.
Sub if you can.
Always sub if you can. Jesus Christ.
We appreciate all of you so much.
But yeah, it is. I really do appreciate everybody who watches these. It's so kind of you to do this and share in this insanely blossoming story. As I think you guys sort of see, I think some of we started this puzzle that has 13 distinct districts, and we've kind of been just showing little. I think you guys are maybe beginning to see some of the edges. It will still take a long time to sort of fill everything in, but you're beginning to get some of the picture now. I would imagine.
We are edging hard over here.
Okay. Well, I set him up sometimes, and I don't even realize I'm doing it. Yeah. Well, if you like what we do on this channel, another thing you can do is go to our About page, follow all the wonderful things our players do on all their stuff. All their socials are located there. Go to our Discord, where I post recaps of these games. If you ever want to go back and read about, who the hell knows what. Like, oh yeah, session. This happened in this session. Go check it out if you care to.
There's a lot of backstory now.
There's a lot of backstory on there. And then we also have some other games in this channel that, to be perfectly honest, are also super exciting. Right now we're running a Star Wars game, and it's 2 nights a week, and it's 8 players in 4 bodies trading off at the end of each one, and I can't say anything about it because I have one player here on the Sunday game who's Lord, and one player here on the Monday game who's Dan, and boy did Dan's group on Monday leave Sunday's group in a ridiculous position.
Philip, you're a Star Wars fan?
No.
You just run the games. Oh.
Guys.
If you want some high budget...
I bought a record player, and then I bought the Shadows of the Empire soundtrack on vinyl. And guys, it's so insane what this is. This is a soundtrack not for the video game, it's a soundtrack for the novel. Think about that. They made a soundtrack for the novel as part of the multimedia experience. They equated it to like programs or something. These musical things from the 18th century where they would compose music that wasn't actually to be anyway. It's great, and the music is really good. I love it. What?
You should get Life After Death Star.
Life After Death Star. What's that?
Yeah, it's
Zane's favorite thing.
Yeah, it's. So I'm trying to remember the dude, but he remixed all of Biggie's Life After Death album.
Oh, okay.
And it's Life After Death Star, and it's one of the dopest hip hop albums of all time. You have to listen to it. It's hard to find
now,
but I have it on vinyl. It's great.
I've become a guy who's really into vinyl. I don't want to be
It's a good thing to get into.
Except here's the thing. It legit does sound better, and I feel so lame saying it, but it really does.
Philip, are you familiar with Captain Beefheart?
Yes.
Wait, what?
I am familiar with Captain Beefheart. Do you like Captain Beefheart?
My dad was a huge Captain Beefheart head. And so...
That Jurassic Park. Amazing.
I have some records somewhere, but I don't have a record player. But I'll send you a Captain Beefheart record.
Oh my
Zane,
God.
look.
Captain Beefheart is some. That's a really cool Jurassic Park. That's really cool.
Mondo released these, and a few random people got this pattern design as opposed to the amber design, and I got it, and I was so happy.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I do know Captain Beefheart.
Are you more of a safe as milk guy or a Trout Mask replica kind of guy?
I'm more familiar with Trout Mask replica, but I have not done deep dives into Captain Beefheart, but I'm very familiar just with the general that kind of it's not really art rock, but it's that sort of highly conceptual,
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Stuff's crazy.
Words or people.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Back to the Future soundtrack.
Yeah.
You have a little mini vinyl collection.
Lauren, when you get a chance, Google Captain Beefheart Trout Mask replica and look at the album cover.
Yeah, they're so.
It's great. No, this is the kind of stuff that my dad would play at 10:30 p.m. when I was trying to go to bed.
That sounds correct.
Either that or klezmer music.
Oh my God. Well, I don't even know what was. Oh, and we've also got a noir game on Tuesdays.
Oh yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching. We'll see you hopefully for a bunch of other games, but also see you next week for a very special. It is session 54 of this game, which in Roman numerals spells LIV, which is one of our players. So it is fortuitously going to be really centered on her iconic character, and I hope that it is not the last time we see Dahlia.
I really hope. I mean, it might be. And you know what? If that's the case, then it's what a way for her to go. I hope it's not.
She's not gonna have to.
Just wait for Pascal. Just wait for Pascal to subsume her into his subroutine.
There it is. Oh, nice. Cool. All right. Well, as we think about all the
players, one body.
Hey now.
Done it before. We'll do it again.
Do it again, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. As we talk about tonight, we talked about music a lot as well as games, but based on the basis of Paradise, that makes a lot of sense. Until next time, I'll leave you with the words we always close on this session. Have a dreadful night.